These past few years continue to be unlike any other,
You never know what someone's going through.
and Southern New England has prevailed.
I think we all want to leave something good behind.
You've proven a simple act of kindness
I just felt it was the right thing to do.
It shows that people care.
can go a long way.
Generosity of people amazes you sometimes.
We were there to witness the moments that meant the most.
I get goosebumps right now just thinking about it. It's fantastic.
As you showed us
Watch us.
something good.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for an entire half hour of good news only. I'm Sam Reed.
And I'm Liz Bateson. In March of 2020, when growing panic spread through the pandemic, we made it our mission to show you something good.
And here we are nearly 3 years later. We've brought you more than 500 stories to make you smile.
And as we kick off the holiday season, we wanted to keep spreading the joy during this wonderful time of the year.
And we felt that joy when a Westerly couple helped their daughter with Wacky Hair Day, because although she lacked locks, it didn't matter.
Like many kids at an early age, 5-year-old Piper Bean and her big brother Eli love playing together.
Yeah, she's cool.
Piper, what do you think about Eli?
He's cool.
Today, they're playing with beautiful Barbies at their Westerly home. And while some of them have a full head of hair, one of them does not. Just like Piper, who's lost hers twice.
She had hair until she was about 2.
Hand, foot, and mouth disease may have been the cause. And since she started school at State Street this year, there were a few worries as to how other kids may perceive her.
She definitely has the personality to deal with something like this.
But nothing she couldn't handle.
She's a spunky, happy little kid.
Yeah.
In fact, Piper prefers having her head this way.
Does not having hair bother you at this moment, or you don't care?
I don't care.
Why not?
Because it's just not a big deal.
But when Wacky Hair Day rolled around at school,
Crazy Hair Day is a combination, crazy hair and crazy sock day.
well, that was a big deal.
We're like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Because what can we do for, a kid with no hair?
Using dozens of giant gems, stick-ons of course, her parents went to work.
I just kind of started making shapes on her head, and before we knew it, we covered her whole head.
We bedazzled our child.
We bedazzled her.
Sporting a ravishing rainbow of sparkling designs,
It was awesome.
Piper was pumped to head to school.
She was pretty proud. She couldn't wait to go and show them her hair.
At school, her head was all the rage.
And she was getting comments everywhere.
And while she loved it, others did equally.
And people from all over town were commenting for days after, weeks after.
At such a young age, Piper loves positivity. She's comfortable in her own skin and has no plans to hide who she is. A lesson we could all learn, one her brother already has.
Does that make you proud, being her older brother, knowing that that's kind of how she feels?
Yes.
Why?
And she's so confident.
And we've also seen a lot of confidence all around Southern New England.
Lots of people put their talents to the test this past year to do something good.
An East Greenwich teen did something sweet with her cupcake business that benefits local charities.
I think we all want to leave something good behind.
And there's quite the sight to see in Pawtucket, where a local artist spent a lot of time beautifying beat-up electrical boxes. Over in Slater Park, Bob LaFerriere serenades people passing by with his saxophone.
Now to a surprise at a high school graduation no one saw coming.
A senior class was shocked when one of their classmates, who's been through a lot, stepped up to the microphone to show off his talents.
A congratulatory 2022 sign for seniors sits on the lawn of the Hunts Mattapoisett home. Inside, newly graduated 18-year-old Carter plays the piano. Music does something special for him.
It feels like I'm in my own world.
Born premature as a twin to his sister Isabella, his mom noticed some speech delays and other differences.
It didn't become more noticeable until he was about 2.5 that it could be symptoms related to autism.
He was eventually diagnosed, and as Carter got older, his family realized music meant a lot to him.
We would just hear him singing throughout the house.
So he enrolled in chorus, took private lessons, and did all he could to put forth his passion.
So as difficult as socializing can be sometimes, he was able to take himself up on that stage.
As graduation approached, a senior assembly right beforehand offered an opportunity.
It was actually my sister who made me do the song.
The night before the big day, Carter decided he'd sing What a Wonderful World to show everyone how hard he'd been working, even though they may not have known.
It was my wish and dream that he would be able to sing at graduation.
After gathering the courage,
it was intense, man.
he took to the stage.
I was afraid.
And the melody that came out of his mouth left the entire audience in awe. After a well-deserved standing ovation, he threw his hands in the air to celebrate his success.
It was amazing to watch him. I was so proud.
As Carter found his voice in another way.
Other students across southern New England are doing a lot of good things in school, and their efforts aren't going unnoticed.
Cousins created a book drive in honor of their other cousin who passed away. Scituate High School students made birthday bags for other students less fortunate.
Everybody deserves that, on their birthday especially.
In North Attleboro, Hannah Schmidt collected prom dresses so every girl can feel like the belle of the ball.
It's really, really rewarding.
Cranston High School students made cards for struggling families with babies in the NICU. And Cranston East alum is painting murals on his own time and dime.
Why not give back what I can?
Providence middle schoolers collected hundreds of teddy bears to show support to students in Uvalde.
It's just really inspiring.
Several teachers in Woonsocket set up pop-up shops for clothes, hygiene products, and cool new shoes.
The goal is to try to make the kids have confidence.
And a longtime custodian in Stonington, Connecticut got the surprise of a lifetime on his last day before retirement.
In a way, I want to make a difference in someone's life.
Still ahead, age is anything but a number. All the amazing times people both young and old surprised us this past year.
Stick with us. We'll bring you more good stories from the farmer's daughter in South Kingstown when we come back. Welcome back to our Something Good special. For an entire half hour, we're looking back at the stories we've loved to show you this past year.
We saw people of all ages and backgrounds stepping up to the plate, and we were there to celebrate their successes.
Look at this one.
In March, Navy veteran Joe Bucko turned 102. The community came together, sending him thousands of cards to wish him well.
I feel good in my heart, you know?
1, 2, 3,
At
4.
86 years old, Irma Mershon, a fitness instructor, has no plans of slowing down.
She is like my Army sergeant when I was in the Army. She makes you move.
At 99 years old, John Bradley is still golfing, celebrating his birthday, and one of the best by par. Happy birthday, dear John. 97-year-old Helen Raines of South Carolina completed her bucket list, visiting all 50 states.
You know the expression, best for last? That's how I feel about Rhode Island.
26-year-old Tyler Rosenberg is the youngest Ben & Jerry's franchise owner in the U.S. He owns 2 shops in Newport. And in Wickford during the annual art festival, 8-year-old Stella Chirac stole the show as she set up shop on the sidewalk.
A League of Their Own is making a comeback with a reboot series.
And one of the baseball legends the series is based off of lives in the Ocean State. We caught up with Wilma Briggs to hear how her story is one for the ages.
We never knew we were making history.
With the swing of a bat, Wilma Briggs paves the way for future generations of women.
We never thought about averages. We never thought about getting paid.
An East Greenwich native, her love for baseball first began as a kid, playing with the boys on her family farm.
When I got to be like 13, 14 years old, my father, as a reward, would let me get in one baseball game.
Little did she know she'd have many more turns at the plate. Around the time she was graduating from East Greenwich High School, World War II broke out. While men were being deployed, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League formed, and she was invited to try out.
I've never played against girls, so how good could they be? Until I saw her play.
Sure enough, she kept up and was asked to join the Fort Wayne Daisies in 1948, which is where she spent a majority of her 6-year baseball career.
I could hit the ball out of the ballpark in any field in South Bend.
This all may sound familiar if you've seen the movie A League of Their Own. Wilma's successful career was part of the inspiration behind the film and this summer's reboot series, which follows a similar storyline.
The movie left such a good, positive feeling about the league.
At one point, Wilma led the league in home runs, and her name is permanently enshrined in the Baseball Hall of Fame in New York.
My fondest memories of baseball are my father hitting ground balls to my older brothers and me in the backyard.
Remembering where she came from, all while making history.
When we come back, unexpected acts of kindness that caught the community off guard.
Plus, some action-packed good news. We'll be right back.
Thank you for sticking with us for our holiday season special, highlighting some of our favorite good news stories we've brought you this past year.
We were inspired by several athletes who continue to prove there's no I in team.
Middletown football players spent their weekend shoveling snow for seniors. And when Val Landry learned there was no senior night planned for her teammates on a unified basketball team at Pilgrim High School in Warwick, she threw them one herself.
We have it for every other team, so I decided that they deserve the same as every other team would too.
Spread out, spread out.
Ari De Jesus pushes for positivity to make sure all kids are included on her Providence basketball team.
It's family first here.
In Middletown, a surfer is making waves with a mission that's inspiring people all across the world.
And he's using the ocean to help thousands of people heal.
As the tide trickles in and the waves wash ashore. While it's not the most ideal day for surfing, Daniel Fisher of Newport says spending time at Second Beach is a #1 priority.
It's such a picturesque place to be out here. I'm usually surfing 3 or 4 times a week as allows. When there's more waves, I'll be here every day if I can.
He's always had a passion for the water.
It is sort of one of the more challenging things I've ever done in my lifetime, just learning how to surf.
Something else that was challenging was dealing with the death of his dad. And one day in January, when the seas were high and he was feeling low, he had an idea to write his dad's name on his board and paddle out into paradise.
And just seeing his name on the board, glistening in the sunshine and the waves washing over it, for the first time since he had died, I felt connected to him, and I thought in that moment, maybe there's other people out there in the world who are also coping with grief. Here's my offer to you guys.
Fisher posted a video on social media that went viral as an open invitation for others to submit the name of their loved ones.
I read every single message and I respond to every single family.
And in just 2 months' time, he's received more than 5,000 submissions.
They're from all over the world.
Filling 2 9-foot by 6 boards with the names of people who have passed, calling this the One Last Wave Project.
So I etch the names of their loved one onto the surfboard, and I take them out into the ocean to catch one last wave as a way to forever memorialize them in the ocean in a place that they love. It's really built a community of people who are dealing with grief and helping each other to heal together.
One of those people is Stephanie Georgia.
It's been difficult, to say the least.
She lost the love of her life, Chris Callan. The ocean had always been a place for peace for her and Chris.
I just thought it was the most beautiful, amazing kind of way to honor people that we've lost.
For the first time, she's seeing his name in person, feeling a wave of emotions as he takes one last ride.
It's hard when you're grieving. You're constantly looking for things that can soothe you in some way, and this kind of thing, I mean, it really, I can't imagine what it's doing for people around the world.
The response has been overwhelming and hard for Daniel to describe, as thousands and counting continue to be bonded by his boards.
And now when I'm out there, I feel all those names as I look down and remember the stories of everyone that's on the board. I feel deeply connected to them and committed to honoring them that way, and it lifts me up and inspires me to be out there doing that for them.
We all know there's nothing better than when nice things happen when we least expect it.
A longtime West Warwick waiter was surprised with a big tip, totaling more than $1,700.
Generosity of the people, just flabbergasted.
Something similar happened for this single mom who's a server, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
45 Lake Street.
New Bedford police surprised people they pulled over with vouchers to get their cars fixed for free.
Hopefully this will help you out, all right? Thank you, man. God bless, all right? Have a good one.
The tab was picked up anonymously for a Swansea family who was celebrating their son's birthday after he passed away.
It really was a surprise, and it just meant so much.
The Exeter community threw a baby shower for an expecting family who lost everything in a fire. A Warwick sanitation supervisor went above and beyond for a little boy who thinks garbage is great.
It's nice to put a smile on someone's face. I just felt it was the right thing to do.
And a North Providence woman low on luck was left speechless when a Market Basket employee stepped up and paid for her groceries.
He was so kind to me. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
I think I have a friend for life.
A bus driver in North Kingstown has made a lot of young friends on his daily drive.
And one morning, his route was everything but regular.
Every morning in a Narragansett neighborhood,
About like 8:15.
a group of students from the local elementary school gathered together, waiting for bus number 2.
It's time to get up. You gotta get up.
But to them, their driver is definitely number 1.
He's the best bus driver ever.
For 8 years, 63-year-old Chuck Brennan has been a school bus driver. And today is an extra special day. So they're surprising him with signs of sincerity.
What's this?
This is how the kids and their parents wanted to show their admiration and appreciation with a day designated to thanking him.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting that.
News of this giant gesture spread, and while the bus stopped, the celebration didn't.
Holy mackerel, thank you. I was very surprised. I think bus driving has to be more than just, we'll get you to school.
Chuck says he's done his best on the bus, from playing music that gets them pumped, and always lending an ear when they feel unheard.
I like them to look forward to it, and I've had some parents tell me that for their kids, the best part of their day is the school bus.
It was nice pulling up, seeing all those smiling faces with those beautiful signs you made. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I love being your bus driver. Bye, Nick.
When we come back, a touching tribute from a local woman who went above and beyond to help moms in need.
Stick with us. This is one you won't want to miss. It's been a tough year for a lot of us, whether it's the sky-high prices of groceries or the ongoing supply chain shortages. Some of us could use a break.
And a woman from Westerly felt that struggle. So when she learned some new moms were in need of formula, she stepped up to help.
One of the first things you see walking into Coastal Medical Primary Care in Wakefield is a warm welcome, the smiling face of 30-year-old nurse practitioner Katie Gervasini. Becoming a nurse always felt natural for the Westerly native who loves to help others.
How are you? That's the part of the job that I love. It's super rewarding.
Something else that was rewarding was finding out in 2021 that she and her husband Kevin would soon be parents to a baby boy.
I felt great my entire pregnancy. I loved being pregnant.
But during her 20-week ultrasound, she received news that no mom-to-be ever wants to hear. Her son had an abdominal wall defect, gastroschisis, which meant a small hole in his stomach exposed his intestines.
They confirmed like our worst nightmare, that he had this issue. I was terrified the entire time. I just remember saying to myself, like, if anything happens to this child, like, I don't know how I'm gonna survive. Like, I just was so excited to be his mom.
Born a bit early, Anthony made his way into the world on September 25th. Within hours of his arrival, he went in for his first surgery.
Some kids like do really well and they're home in like 4 to 6 weeks, and other kids are there for like 3 or 4 months. But I was like, my kid's only gonna be there for like a couple weeks, and like we're gonna go home.
The surgeon told them things were worse than what they thought. For over 8 weeks, they lived at the Ronald McDonald House, spending time caring for Anthony, introducing him to his new life with mom and dad.
He was the perfect baby. You awake now?
Yes. They would read to him, talk to him, and put on the Patriots, all while prepping for another surgery 6 weeks later.
His second surgery was on my 30th birthday, and so I said, this is like a good sign, like this is gonna be good luck.
But tragically, that wasn't the case. Katie and Kevin said goodbye to their little boy 3 days later.
I was like, this has to be somebody else. Like, this isn't happening. This isn't like the little boy who I was just holding, who just was like staring at me with these like big brown eyes. I couldn't wrap my brain around the fact that that had happened.
Since his passing, the Gervasinis have found ways to cope.
I think one of the worst things is being afraid that people are going to forget him, especially because nobody got to really know him.
Katie volunteers at a support group for families in similar situations.
Just trying to keep his memory alive and trying to like continue doing his good work down here.
They're planning a 5K on his birthday, and a tree that'll live a long time was planted in his honor at Wilcox Park in Westerly. But her dedication to honoring her son didn't stop there. If you peek inside of her fridge at home, there's a life-saving gift to new moms in need.
Especially in light of the formula shortage, I think it was like a really important thing to do.
While she was waiting to take her son home, Katie pumped all hours of the day, filling multiple freezers with her breast milk.
I had an insane supply of milk, and I had always hoped he'd be able to have it, but unfortunately he didn't.
To help other women, she decided to donate it through the Mother's Milk Bank of the Northeast.
To be honest, it was really hard for me to donate his milk.
But she knew it was the right thing and what her son would have wanted. She ended up filling an entire SUV full.
I calculated 1,400 ounces, which is around 32 gallons.
Despite having been through so much herself, Katie empathizes with other women struggling.
My heart breaks for these moms who aren't able to feed their kids.
And since she was given the gift to do that for her son, from one mom to another, she knows the importance of having a child's best interest at heart.
I was happy to help, and I felt incredible after donating it that I was able to continue to do good things in Anthony's name.
Do you think that he would be proud of you?
I hope so.
We hope these lessons of love made you smile.
You can join us for an entire hour of good news here on NBC 10 on December 26th.
And we sure hope you'll join us. We wish you and your family a happy and healthy holiday season.